Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk once again about the processing of feelings from the viewpoint of Marina Burek, from her book, from her work, A Virtualized World of Capitalism, which we are finishing very, very soon. And in her final chapter, she does talk about how the overcoming of a sensation may lead to the feeling, which is a part of the kind of like the mind and soul connection, or the mind and body connection, call it what you will. And she talks about how when you experience some kind of sensation, when you perceive something, be it visible or auditory or what have you, it may actually stop at this. You perceive something, you sense something, and that's it. And she argues that in the modern virtualized capitalism, we actually are encouraged to just process sensations, and that's it, and never go anywhere with those sensations, never trying to achieve any kind of depth and understanding of what these sensations imply. And she says that because sensations are up for sale, right? They create all kinds of art that is meant to stimulate us, hook us up, and then sell us some kind of goodies. And we can see that happening everywhere all the time. But Marina argues that when sensation is overcome and when it becomes a feeling, it actually leads to a resolution of a contradiction. And the example that we came up with while discussing this was love, right? So when you experience love towards somebody, there is a contradiction within this sensation, right? When you're infatuated with someone, you don't really fully perceive them as a person. You see them as this kind of perfect entity, this ideal. You may put them on a pedestal, and if you leave them on that pedestal, that means that this is not a person to you. This is an object. This is an object of your desire. This is an object of your worship, what have you. But if you go down the path of overcoming the sensation, this is when you actually learn the person concretely. And when you learn the person concretely, you see them with all of their inconsistencies, all of their flaws, all of their humanness. And this is what can lead to an inner conflict, because you not only may not enjoy some of the aspects of that person, but also you feel like you're losing part of yourself or parts of yourself when you seemingly let yourself, your own identity, dissolve while you learn this other person concretely. When you submerge yourself into the topic at hand, as many philosophers before Marina suggested, you may lose touch with yourself and your own perceived identity. And this is when many philosophers would argue you can reach that point of unity, actually, by allowing yourself to dissolve partially in this other person. By combining forces with this person in some capacity, you are then able to overcome that contradiction, because then you actually take something, and not like physically take, not like spiritually take away from, but you merge together and you become this unity where you are able to gain. By giving up, you're gaining, which is a paradox of life. Generally, you take away and you give, and it's not a transactional exchange. It is a connective type of an exchange where all of the substance flows together in a certain combination, and there are laws to it. So the laws of looking for contradiction is such that you, by giving up certain parts of yourself, you are actually gaining newer parts of yourself. Of course, there lies a danger of you completely dissolving your own identity in another person's or in other people's, but this is where your conscious mind may help you, lead you out of this, because it is not natural for us to fully, truly dissolve in some other people's identities. It is natural for us to butt heads and to have a conflict, and this is the struggle aspect. So in the struggle and unity of the opposites, this is where you reach a core contradiction of some sorts, and by overcoming that contradiction, you are able to reach some kind of higher level of understanding, higher level of empathy, higher level of love. So in this scenario, it may be said that you are the thesis, the other person is the antithesis, and then together you create some kind of synthesis. And in the synthesis, both of you are going to gain, and again, not gain materially, not gain simplistically, physically, you're going to gain a higher connection to yourself, to the world around you. This is ultimately going to be an enriching experience. And Marina argues for feelings, this is also true. If you're able to overcome the sensations and be an embodiment of certain feelings and states of being, you are going to be enriched by these experiences. And for any people who actually seriously took upon themselves to study and look into different arts, you will know that this is very true. You never fully lose yourself in all of these beautiful, wondrous, amazing feats of human wisdom and beauty and truth and honesty. You gain so much, and you're able to start contributing after a while, after reading certain literature, after listening to some music, after getting in touch with some of these aspects of humanness, you're able to express your own humanness better. You're able to express it to other people. You're able to relate it better to other people. And you also possibly gain the ability to create some kind of art that at first may be the imitation of someone else's art, but in the end, it is going to be something that is a synthesis of your own. You're going to overcome your own contradictions, but they're never fully, truly your own. Remember, nothing is ever fully belonging to one person or a certain group of people. It is always the whole. We all belong to this whole, this unity of everything. And in this unity of everything, we, with our consciousness, are able to partake by discovering, uncovering something that's already there. Nothing really truly emerges. It's all there, and we're just discovering it, uncovering it, seeing it unfold, seeing the movement unfold. And this is a very wondrous, beautiful process, which I wish more people were able to participate in. And this is also what Marina claims is necessary for a cohesive ideology, even though she doesn't use the word ideology much. But to have a cohesive worldview, you have to get in touch with the human body of civilization, or the expression of a universal man, or universal human, if you will. So a person who starts getting exposed to all kinds of art is going to not only gain all of these new tools of expressing themselves and all of these tools to resolve all of these contradictions that one may experience, you also become a part of that universal man. You are no longer just yourself, this seemingly isolated entity. You find your place in the history of the material world. And this is such a wondrous process which you can actually undertake even without capitalism collapsing. Of course, we are never going to achieve greater levels of freedom, greater levels of expression through art, etc., while we live in conditions like this, where war devastates us and the natural disasters devastate us here and there. But it is not impossible to reach at least some levels of freedom and beauty and truth, and you can still learn and understand so much, and you can enrich your own life and get in touch with yourself and with the history of your land and with the people of your land. And this is going to really change your life for the better. You're not going to be lonely and isolated and scared all the time. You're going to see all of these beautiful connections, and you're going to be able to see how to help more people come into the unity and understand that, oh, well, these conditions that we have here, they're not suitable for our common development, our common prosperity. So we have to change these conditions somehow. And of course, I'm not insisting on ideological work only. I never do. This is what some people often get worried about. They're like, what if we spend all the time getting exposed to the arts and reading the books and discussing theory? Are we going to lose touch with reality? No. Again, you don't have to dissolve completely in the subject matter. But in order to truly understand the subject matter, you have to give up a lot of that baggage, a lot of those preconceived notions, a lot of those ideological pieces of wreckage that all of us carry. I carry it, you carry it, everybody carries some of these fragments of capitalist ideology. This is not our fault. This is nothing to beat ourselves over, but this is something that can be overcome and must be overcome now before we even start building any kind of socialist projects. We have to get in touch with our universal humanity. So hopefully this all made sense. Let me know what you think. Have a great day today. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Do take care of yourself and your community first. Subscribe to me on all the social medias, even though I don't do much there, and I'll talk to you sometime later.